And we're back to learning Photoshop in a year, day 118. Let's talk about the brush tool. We'll cover the basics first. You'll find it over here. B is the short key, and then you will find this toolbox. If you right click on it, there are more tools. We want to talk about the brush tool exclusively here. And then check your layers menu. We've got a layer 0, which is just a white background. So let me rename that. I'll just call it background. It's the only layer and it's active. If I left click drag, you can see we paint directly over it. The color is determined right here, so it's going to use the foreground color. Let me click on the swatch and make that red. And now we have black, white and red all on this layer. You press Ctrl Z until we have an empty layer again. It's a good idea to create a new one. Rename it to brush. It's active, we paint on it. And this is now only on this layer and we still have our white background. So whenever you want to draw something by hand, it's a good idea to create a specific layer for that. Then we press Ctrl Z until we have an empty layer again and it should be visible. So we are right here. You can see that the brush has a certain appearance, not just due to the color, but if I left click drag, this has very, say, sharp edges, and that's determined by the brush style. You can set that right here via the second drop down. So this is what's called a hard round, and here's a soft round. And the difference is obvious, but explained in plain terms. The soft round just feathers out at the edges, while the hard round doesn't. And this is, if you watch carefully, determined by the hardness right here. So soft round has a hardness of 0, a hard round a hardness of 100. So the lower you go with the hardness, the more your brush will feather out at the edges and create kind of like this gradient effect where it transitions to transparency. There are a couple of more options here, and if you scroll down you will find other folders. For the most part you need the soft round or the hard round. And then you can adjust the size up here and make it, for example, bigger. You can also see these icons, and these are the last selected brushes. So just like with the swatches where you can see the last selected colors, right here you have a last selected brushes for easy and quick access. Let me delete this layer, create a new one. Some of these brushes, they have a little icon in the top right corner right here. And it's because some of these brush types, they actually activate different tools. For example, the eraser tool. So you have to watch out a little bit for that. For example, this one that I've got active activates the eraser. This one here activates the brush. I've already said there are a couple of folders. So this was the general brushes where you could find the soft and the hard round. These are the ones that you will most likely use or most likely need for your projects. But there are other ones as well. For example, this here, it's a little bit too small. Let me make that bigger. And there you go. You can see this has a totally different edge style, and here it actually makes a difference if you rotate that and how you rotate that. Obviously for the ball round, rotation doesn't make sense because it's a ball and no matter where you rotate it, it always has the same look. But here, if I just left click, it becomes obvious that this is a rotation function. You can in principle turn everything into a brush, even patterns. Some are installed, and I'm going to show you later on how you can create your own ones. This folder icon here is for the brush settings, and here you have more to choose from, more adjustments that you can add. If you're a total beginner, I would just advise you to leave that alone for now. We will talk about that when we need it in this Photoshop playlist that I'm creating. As I've said, for the most part, we want to use soft and hard round. Let me create a new layer. And then you can see, let me size it down a little bit. Right here we have the mode, which are the blending modes again. It's the same option that you can pick for the layers. Also the opacity, I've got a black color. So if I go down with the opacity, it's going to blend with the white in behind and make it gray. Flow is another interesting option, and that's best explained if I simply draw it on a new layer. So let me delete that once again. This flow of 100. And if I go down, you can see what it does. It's also kind of like a blend effect. So it washes it a little bit out. And then there are a couple of options. For example, when you use a graphic pen. But for beginners, these are the basics to know. So the brush tool, short key B, and these different types, soft and hard round, which is determined by the hardness, and then opacity, blending modes, and flow. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.